magic of the Cybernet Space Cube, the computer-enhanced podcast of the future. Transformers Slag Podcast.
How we all doing, everybody? It is going to be probably, without a doubt, maybe the first or second top craziest week of the year for Transformer news. There is a lot to discuss. I literally just jumped out of the shower and got all this put together. So it's going to be nuts. It's going to be a 2 bottles of water Transformers Slag Podcast Saturday night live stream main event. How we all doing this evening? My name's Protoman. This is the face that runs the crazy place. And we're going to talk about the robots in disguise and all the nuttiness. We have a lot to talk about. I think we have like 27 slides, something like that, of stuff to go through. A lot of information, some updated stuff too from earlier this week. Actually had to leave some stuff out just because there's too much, and we're probably going to get some updates on some of that product in the very near future. So we'll get into that. I'm glad to see everyone here. See everyone's popping in slowly. Once again, if you want to have a comment read out or something on the live stream, again, super chat below, or be a YouTube member. It is the people with the green names and the beautiful Transformer logos next to them. Thank you all for being YouTube members and Patreon members and super chatting, everything that keeps this podcast alive. I am going to be burned out after this one. It took, like, no joke, probably like a good 2 hours to get this all together. And let's just not talk about the past couple of days with all the live streams, the slides, all the craziness. Let's get into that, shall we? I'm pretty sure you're tired of hearing my voice talk about the build-up. Let's go, and we're going to start with probably our favorite thing in the whole world. Yeah, that's right. We're going to talk about Funko Pop. So we have 2 Funko Pop items that are going to be coming out literally as of this recording, as of this live stream. The same weekend of SDCC was also Walmart Collector Con. And they put up 2 new items that will be for sale on their website. A Transformers Funko Pop Optimus Prime mask. I didn't know these were things with Funko. I guess Funko is doing masks now of their stuff. So it should be very interesting to see what they intend to do with that. This is done by Disguise. They paid a license to Funko, of all things, to do that. We got a super chat from Princeton Phalanx 59. Deathsaurus was on Star Saber's poster and packaging. Is Hasbro planning to make him? Could be. I did a tweet a long time ago, a while back, speculating a heavy retool of Earthrise Double Dealer into Deathsaurus, and I mean, it practically does itself. I mean, maybe I'll retweet that post, or I'll post that image on the community section of the podcast here on YouTube. It's kind of already there. So if they do want to do it, the tooling is there. If they want to do something loosely, that's a heavy retool. But I mean, we'll see what happens. We'll see. It's definitely going to come up in the near future. Let's put it that way. It is a trademark they've tried to keep alive. Deathsaurus, or Deathsaurus, as the trademark is in Hasbro, is available. It is something that is in the Western trademark market. So yeah, could see it happening. Thank you, Princeton, for the question. But back to these Funkos. So we got the Optimus Prime ornament, or Christmas ornament. These are done through Hallmark. They're a lot, from what I heard, because last year they did a whole bunch of Funko ones, just not Transformer related. I heard these are very fragile, so be careful when you purchase these, and if you drop them off of your tree, let's say they're not secured properly on the branches. Yeah, it's a Funko ornament. Supposedly the scale of these are 2.5 inches, and to give you perspective, like the Pocket Pop vinyls are 1.5 inches, the standard Pop vinyls are 4 inches, and the jumbo ones are 10. So they're kind of like shorter than the standard Funko Pop. whatever. I just gonna talk about it just to cover it, to let you guys know this is a thing. And in the bottom left there, at San Diego Comic-Con, they already started selling the Jumbo Unicron Funko Pop, which is showing up on pre-order on GameStop's website right now as we speak. I believe he is $40, the Unicron. Don't quote me on it, but I believe I saw $40. And he's the jumbo scale. He's the big one, and he's based off of the HasLab Unicron veneering and details. So yeah, if you didn't get HasLab Unicron, and I guess this is a backup plan. No, it's Funko Pop. What do you want? Let's get into something a little better, shall we? Let's talk about GoBots. So the Crasher character from the GoBots, the female femme fatale from the challenge of the GoBots, the craziness. She is back in toy form again under the Hasbro banner. It's been done before. We had a Fracture during the movie line in 2008, a repaint of a Classics Mirage mold, and lo and behold, we're getting another Crasher again. I like what they tried to do. I think that the general silhouette of using the Siege Mirage mixed with that Earthrise head sculpt, or whatever you want to call it, Kingdom head sculpt, I guess, because it's the Battle Across Time head sculpt, which is actually the toy accurate Siege 3-pack box set. Whatever, you know what I mean. Either way, um, I like the silhouette of it. It gives that more kind of wider stance in a lot of ways. That would be much more accurate to everything. Thank you for joining, subscriber Ale. Thank you for joining Ale Selnin. I like what I see. I think if I have one complaint, it's probably just being so true to that toy accurate Mirage head sculpt doesn't lead to something that's completely, I guess, the feminine Crasher crazy chick that we knew in the show. They just got to kind of work with that surface and try to make the best they can with pink paint, I guess. But I mean, it still looks cool. I liked it. It has the O1 on the chest, which was a decal, little detail that the original toy had. They tried their best to work with what they could, and that is that. I mean, again, a new head sculpt would have been cool. Who knows? Maybe some third party company will make an upgrade kit with a brand new head sculpt and maybe some cool weapons or something. But I still think it looks pretty cool. Comes with the same weapons that the Mirage has, so his little gun and his shoulder missile launcher. So it looks pretty cool otherwise. But again, I took this photo and I put it on my Instagram. Which again, if you're not following my Instagram, what are you doing? Just some comparisons of past stuff that we got throughout the years, and it'll kind of give you an idea of the Crasher character. All the way on the left was the original toy. Technically, the second release. The first release was in white, which you could see on the right image there when it was a Combat Racer Porsche Robo. The second release was the black repaint to match more of the character model by Hanna-Barbera. Looks pretty cool. Otherwise, I dig it. Um, I mean, I'm a huge GoBot fan. I love Machine Robo, its original incarnation. It's a great anime. You could watch it all for free on YouTube. Go check it out. Um, it's a great series, great designs. GoBots don't get a lot of love, but they're fun toys. I understand why Transformers won that war. They were just the better toys, but it's not to say that GoBots didn't have their charm either. The show is hit or miss. I'll give you that. But its origins in Machine Robo and the designs that they got from Poppy and later Bandai of Japan, I can't argue with how fun those were. They were great. So it's cool. I dig it. And again, again, we're getting more GoBot stuff. You know, the way I see it is there's a lot of GoBot characters that could still be done with a lot of the stuff that we have mold wise. I mean, look, we just got that Cosmos mold. We could get a Pathfinder out of that. We could get a whole bunch of stuff out of it. We got Earthrise, Trailbreaker. That could be Smallfoot. There's so many different things that we could do with those characters and those designs. Any jet could be a leader one. Wreck-Ar could be a Psykill. There's so much fun that could be done. Even if they just want to do straight up repaints, I still think there's a lot of potential with diving into the GoBot library if you're looking for more repaints and mileage out of your molds instead of just tooling brand new things, which for Hasbro is something they try to avoid because it costs money. So just my take on that. I love GoBots. Maybe you don't, maybe you do, but I do. Next up, let's talk about also a reissue repaint. Kind of, not really. One of the worst Beast Wars toys ever made, depending on your opinion. Let's talk about reissue RETRAX as a reality. So we knew about Pterosaur a couple weeks ago. We talked about it on the podcast. And then some images leaked out of a packaging of what looked like reissue 1997 Beast Wars RETRAX. And I was able to double confirm that it was legitimate initially because the packaging was completely different than what the original 1997 one was. Obviously, the toy, that's a different story. Um, the toy itself, it looks pretty accurate to what the original one was. Obviously the lighting could be different or the photography could be different, but at the end of the day, yes, it is the Pillbug Decepticon, Predacon RETRAX with all his limited articulation. Uh, I think we kind of were given a teaser that he was coming from Black Arachnia's Peel to Reveal card. He's just chilling there in the background with her. Guess this is probably the best way we're gonna get him. But I mean, here's the original, right? And transformation is ridiculously simple. You literally just fold these legs in, and it's practically all there. That's one of the reasons why, one of the many reasons why some people aren't a fan of them. And all the gimmick essentially is in the alt mode. Like you have all these little articulated legs, which is, wow, that's a lot of articulated legs. He had again his little pincer here. He had the articulated antennas, and then even had here too, also spring loaded. You could clip it in there. And then of course his gimmick, which it probably would work better if it was in alt mode, but his gimmick is that he also folds up into a little pill bug, which I'm not going to bother with right now because he's such a complex transformation. I mean that sarcastically, but I mean, again, was a really fun toy in his alt mode, but his robot mode was extremely lacking. Articulation is almost non-existent. They really chose to make the most coolest pose they possibly could for that robot mode. But again, kind of fun. It's a fun toy. It's not the best Beast Wars figure by a long shot. Definitely probably is the bottom 5 if anything. But at the end of the day, it's not terrible, and considering that there's a lot worse stuff you could spend your money on, RETRAX not the worst thing in the world. And again, just to show you side by side, on the left is the original packaging. On the right is the Walmart reissue 2002 packaging. So they are kind of continuing that Rocky Bubble design and that textured kind of Velociraptor, uh, scaling. So it's not 100% true to the original 1997 card backs where RETRAX debuted. So if you're looking for something that's like a true celebration of Beast Wars, it's kind of a hit or miss on the packaging. But if you're going to open up and enjoy the figure, can't go wrong there. Ignore the coloring. I mean, it looks like the yellow on the reissue is a lot more vibrant and everything like that. But again, it could be the lighting of the original card back one to this one and how the photo was done. But at the end of the day, still pretty cool. Still pretty cool otherwise. I again, maybe it's my bias, and even some of the worst Beast Wars toys are better than some of the worst Transformer toys in other lines. I mean, we're gonna get a lot of trash, let's put it this way, in price points that don't matter to us. So at a time when probably the worst Transformer toy of the whole year was RETRAX, that's pretty good. In 97, if that was the worst you could do, that's pretty good considering there's a lot of garbage today. Let me tell you, a lot of garbage. That's it more or less for that. Again, RETRAX, pretty cool. Pick them up probably if you can. His MSRP is probably going to be, I'm going to assume that $24.99, that new MSRP price point that they're going to do for they already did with Tigatron and Cybershark, which I'm still looking for Cybershark. I can't find them yet in retail. I've been hunting for them. I want to have some reissues that I'm going to cover the whole wall over there with. But yeah, next up we have Minimates, this is from San Diego Comic-Con, as well as an update, which I'm still kind of confused about. Michael Koo here says, Beast Wars reissue retrack sold out on Hasbro Pulse. Well then. I guess people do really want them. That's pretty awesome. It's good to know then. So we got Minimates. We got Wave 4 shown off to us. There's Wave 1. Wave 1 was a metallic kind of take of Optimus Prime, Bumblebee, almost kind of a gold bug. Shockwave and Starscream. Wave 2 was Megatron, Soundwave, Grimlock, and Blaster. Wave 3 was going into the movieverse kind of stuff with Galvatron, RC, King Starscream, and Jazz, I guess from Moonbase 2. And then they showed us Wave 3 today. It was kind of jumbled up, and not this is literally probably one of the best photos we could find. No one was really caring about Minimates this weekend, because I actually have a question about something which I'm going to get into in a moment, which is the bottom left. But so they showed off Wave 4, which is going to be more movie stuff. We're going to get Hot Rod with the Matrix, which is pretty hype. We're going to get Ultra Magnus all beefy. We're going to get a Death of Optimus Prime with 2 different torsos, open chest and closed chest. What's up, Larry? And we're going to get a Thunder Cracker. We also got to see RC with her alternate head for Wave 3, so she's going to have her little visor and stuff. But here's the big question, and I wonder if anyone picked this up. So supposedly, San Diego Comic-Con weekend, one of the exclusives at the Minimates booth, a Diamond Toys booth, was this bottom left here, this SDCC 2022 VHS set, which was they were going to take some of the members that were done in metallic colors from Wave 1 and give them a matte color scheme. Obviously, the Megatron is a repack, but the other ones are, matte colors as opposed to that. No one has posted photos of these. No one has posted photos of the box. No one has posted photos of the booth. No one seems to care about these. So I'm very curious what is going on with that. Does it exist? Was this news that I just read and then they just kind of backed out of it? I don't know. Are the sales really bad for Minimates? So I'm kind of curious what happened with that. If anyone has any information or photos, tweet that out, please. I'd really like to see, because I like Minimates and I kind of like what they're doing here. But that first wave was really confusing, where they were advertising that kind of nice cartoony matte color scheme, and the metallic ones just didn't look nice. It really didn't look nice. That's why I'm using someone's photo from a collection here, because the advertising photos, which are these stock photos here, is very incorrect. So we'll see what happens with that. But if anyone knows, let me know. Let me know. Let me know. Mike Cuckoo says, correction, you could still get retracts on Hasbro Pulse. He sold out on Walmart. Ah, okay. There we go. There we go. Tom Laney says, hi, y'all. And let's jump into now all the different reveals of SDCC this weekend. There was a lot. Kind of hope that there's more. Really do for Sunday, because I think there's some missed opportunities, but I'll get into that in a moment. But let's jump into it. They gave us some Legacy. They gave us some Earthrise. They gave us a lot. Let's do it. Let's break it down. So first up, Transformers Legacy Wave 3 Deluxe Class BLANKER, a.k.a. Point Blank. Obviously, they couldn't get trademark for Point Blank, so they're going with BLANKER. Just going to get a sip of water here. So this was the one I was probably the most excited about when I saw the listing for it, because I'm a huge fan of the Japanese version of the character, the Headmaster's cartoon interpretation. And I was really hoping for a good update of him. There was a third-party Masterpiece one that did a fantastic job, and I was just hoping that there'd be a really good retail version also. I understand what Hasbro is doing here. I understand the game. I understand the dance. I've had this discussion with Aaron Archer in the past, and he still denies that it's never been intentional, but it always seems to work out for the best financially. And what I've always said is, put out something. If you make a new mold, put out something that is not necessarily the best version of those colors or that head sculpt or whatever, and then put out the better one later, and you'll make 2 sales, because people will usually buy the new mold just because it's a new mold, and then when the better one comes out later, they'll buy it again. I mean, geez, just look at what happened with like Buzzworthy Bumblebee Cup and Cliffjumper compared to their Studio Series and Earthrise releases. There's a lot of people that made 2 purchases. At TFCon, at the charity auction, that was a thing that was donated a lot, was their cups and their Cliffjumpers, because they got better versions. Why? 2 sales, because those people bought other ones. But anyways, so what's going on here with this one? So it uses the design that was used in the cartoon, that was used from the Marvel comics, that was based on an early design that then was misinterpreted and put on the wrong head because it was Crosshairs' head, and then that head ended up on that one. And because Crosshairs was already using a different head with Siege, some people could speculate that, well, we were going to get a show accurate Siege head, a show accurate Crosshairs head, so we're probably going to get a show accurate uh, point blank head. There's a lot of ways we could look at it. You know what? Fine. It gives us an alternative. It has the blue hubs on the shoulders. It has that head sculpt. So you have Rebirth 3 episodes of BLANKER, Point Blank, whatever you want to call him. I'll call him Point Blank because that's who he is to me. So yeah, sure, whatever. I guess some point down the line, Buzzworthy Bumblebee, or maybe a repaint in some future Legacy or Hasbro Pulse. Maybe we'll get a retool and repaint of Mister on the right there, the Japanese version of Point Blank, aka the original G1 toy design and everything like that. It'll happen. It's pretty much a guarantee. It's pretty much a guarantee that we'll get that. And not to mention they said that it's going to come with a, and this is a quote. This is from Mark, not Mark, Evan. Evan said that he's going to come with a Minicon accessory that isn't shown here yet, that we're going to see images of at PulseCon. Um, so we'll see what happens with that. That Minicon accessory obviously will be something that'll be his Target Master partner, Peacemaker, I'm going to assume. I don't know if they'll be able to call it Peacemaker, though, due to recent DC trademarks, but they'll definitely call it something. And judging by the way he's shaped, I could see a Armada blur being done from this. And if he comes with a quote Minicon accessory, maybe a little Minicon partner Incinerator could be part of that too. And Incinerator is kind of a Formula One car, which could kind of be double interpreted as a gun because of the long front end. There's a lot of ways you could interpret that and break it down. But we will see what happens. But that's just my take. I was a little disappointed, just a little. Was kind of expecting more with Point Blank, but you know what? At least I still have that third party masterpiece. And then, maybe again in the future, maybe through Buzzworthy Bumblebee or Generation Selects, we will get a better version. Next up, Crankcase. So, Crankcase, supposedly, according to Mark and Evan, is a partial from Skids. And if you actually look at the bottom half of Skids' torso, pretty much from like the hips down, a little bit of the crotch region too, it's 100% the same mold. So there's clearly a brand new mold for the top half. Pretty impressive how much they were able to pull out of that. So it probably, and that's why I showed the back end here of Skids in his alt mode. So probably the back end of Skids here is going to be how the back end of Crankcase is going to look, and then the front end is going to be completely different. I really am impressed with what they did here. Not to mention, this TriggerCon character has had nothing. Has literally had nothing all these years. The closest he had was they tried to do an homage and it didn't happen, repaint a Cybertron Red Alert toy and ended up being a movie toy. This is his first true classics update. And I really hope that the weapons that he comes with kind of invoke his TriggerCon gimmick, like you see there on the bottom left image. But I think he looks great. And these are one of those characters that, kind of needs an update. Really needs an update. And it's once again the people at Hasbro, it's really impressive what they're able to do with a mold. Like again, bottom half is completely Skids, but that top half is brand new. There's a whole bunch of new stuff going on there. So pretty cool. Pretty cool. I like that. I'm very impressed. I wasn't expecting Crankcase to be one of the more oh wow kind of figures, but I'm impressed with the engineering that was done here. to pull off something brand new from something that would have, I mean, in all honesty, if they wanted to, they could have just done a straight up repaint of skids and call it a day. They could have easily done that. That was the rumors when we saw Crankcase. A lot of people were going, oh, they're just going to repaint skids, maybe put a brand new head sculpt. Nope, that's not the case at all. They did a whole lot more, and it looks fantastic. Next up, our next Stunticon member, not our last though. Let's talk about Dead End. So, all we've seen right now is this robot mode image. We don't have a alt mode image. We don't have a combined mode image, but just a reminder by the stuff here on the right, due to its extreme show accuracy to how Menosaur combines with the Stunticons, he is probably going to be the left arm, meaning he's just probably going to be in car mode, just chilling there. He'll probably have a split in half kind of thing going on, much like with Dragstrip, to kind of pull that off too. So be sure to keep an eye out for that when that toy comes out. I like the veneering and detail on the robot mode. Otherwise, it looks like the animation model more or less. The purple visor is a nice touch because that was one of the unique traits of Dead End. Was he was one of the few Decepticons that had purple as his visor. The only other one I could think of, at least in the Generation 1 world of the cartoons, would be of Swindle. And then when you fall into like yellow visors, it's pretty much just, you know, the Predacons and Shockwave. Very unique to have something that isn't red visors or red eyes, and they kept that. So that was a nice touch. On the bottom middle there, you have how his animation model depicted his alt mode and how his toy depicted his alt mode. Now, he turned into a Porsche 928, 1983, if I remember correctly, which had the round pop-up headlights. Again, Porsche isn't playing game with Hasbro, so they're probably going to try to figure out something like the Fluoro Deary animation model there and try to find a happy medium in order to make that work, much like they did with Wild Rider. So I'm kind of curious to see how they do that. I'm a Porsche guy, so I'm really curious how they're going to pull that off. But again, pretty cool otherwise. I like how they did it. I like how when you look at that robot mode, you don't see something that would be a combiner limb. Combiner limbs always had such a certain silhouette of blockiness to them, whether it be the Combiner Wars stuff that we got before, whether it be even the stuff we got with Energon and Superlink, or going all the way back to the Scramble City stuff of the 80s with 1985, 1986. Combiner limbs just had a certain shape to them that were limited. This, when you look at it, this is something that could have been a standalone figure on its own. And what that always tells me is because they look like standalone figures, I'm telling you, don't sleep on these Constructicon limbs. They're going to be turned into other characters in tooling in the future. They are not going to waste it. So I'm really curious what they could do with him and some of the other characters later. It's going to be cool. It's going to be cool, and I dig it. We're missing now at this point is Breakdown. Breakdown isn't going to be part of this legacy assortment or next wave. The rumor is that he's going to be part of whatever is going to be the next thing in 2023, preferably wave one, from what I heard. I think the only reason why they didn't include Breakdown, like why they left him out of this trio, is I think because Breakdown, I mean, look, Breakdown turns into a Lamborghini Countach, but Lamborghini Countaches and, you know, Wild Riders Ferrari 308, they're very similar to a casual viewer of sports cars. You know, a Lamborghini and a Ferrari is the same thing. They aren't. Don't get me wrong, they aren't. But next to each other, you could be like, they're kind of the same. So it's something that the way I see it is they probably wanted to have the more unique three. One's a Formula One Tyrrell, one's a Porsche, kinda, and one is a Lamborghini. And you could have those three, and you have three different Stunticon limbs that have some kind of uniqueness to them. And then that fourth one, Breakdown, which turns into the Ferrari, will come later. That's the way I kind of see it. The rumors are he's going to be part of, again, that next wave, the wave one of whatever, or that fourth wave, or whatever you want to call it, for 2023. That's the listings that I've seen, but nothing has been confirmed, more or less. So I think that's kind of why they went that route, just to create some uniqueness on the shelves so you don't have two cars that are kind of the same. And that was just kind of always an unfortunate thing. And considering the fact that both of those European Lamborghini, Ferrari sports cars are going to make the legs on top of it, you wanted to have something that looked a little different. That's the way I kind of saw it. Next up, Skullgrin. And he's actually chilling over there today. So Skullgrin is one of our few legacy guys outside of our leader class today that we actually got to see the alt mode. And he looks really good. Interesting fusion of the details here. According to Mark, this was a Yuki-san creation along with Mark Mayer himself. They kind of worked on this one together. Trying to take the robot mode of the inner Pretender shell robot shown on the bottom there and fusing it with the veneering and detail of the outer monster Pretender skin, which is seen in that little thumbnail in the middle of the image here. So you have like the head, obviously the Skullgrin head, the shoulder kind of coverings, and even the crotch area, which kind of mimics his Pretender belt, which kind of keeps those Pretender shells together from cracking apart easily. So you have all that fine detail, but then when you look at the chest, you kind of see some of the details that match that of the inner Pretender robot. There's kind of, and same thing with the color layout matching the Pretender robot. Um, I see what they're trying to do here. And even when you look at the weapons, there's something going on here too, because the original Pretender shell back in the day had a double barrel gun and he had a sword, a white sword, and his two barrel guns that make his weapons for both his vehicle mode and for his weapons here, you could attach them together. It makes a double barrel gun, or they kind of have like a sword blade on them, so it also is kind of like a sword. So they're even kind of fusing the weapons in a sense from the original toy. A lot of weird stuff going on there. Obviously, the alt mode, I think the image is just not the best image in the world. Because when you look at the alt mode image, it looks like he's just lying down in robot mode. But when you look at the robot mode image, especially the one on the left, there's clearly tank treads there. Something is not being seen from a proper angle. So we'll probably see more in the future that'll probably sell it better. I mean, when you look at the original Pretender shell, the Pretender robot, let's be real. Look at that bottom right there. That was his alt mode back in the day. Those Pretender Ender robots, and I love Master Force. Don't get me wrong; those characters are amazing, and I love that series. But those alt modes of those Pretenders, some of them, they needed some work. They needed some work. So it is what it is. But I'm excited about him. I love Skullgrin. I love Doros, his Japanese incarnation in Master Force. So he's definitely going to be a pickup. He's going to be one I'm going to be very interested in getting. And here's one that any Beast Wars fan is excited about, except for the nitpicky ones, I guess. But let's talk about our leader class, Transformers Legacy, Transmetal 2, Megatron. I think he looks amazing. I know some people are kind of questioning his proportions or how his face sculpt looks. But I'll be honest with you guys, as someone who has messed with the original mold hundreds of times, seen them 100 times in the secondary market, be grateful that we're getting something new because that original toy did not survive time. The red plastic on the original toy is starting to go brittle. The irony is, look, if you went to TFCon this past weekend, not this weekend, the past weekend and before that, if you went to Aaron Archer's table, he had the original Dragon Megatron there, and the plastic in the neck region was already starting to give. And he's not someone who's like transforming his toys 50 times over and displaying them. So his was in storage. So it's something where it's nice to get an update of a character where his original toy is kind of a, plastic hazard. So it looks great. I think it looks fantastic. I love that it comes with a blast effect for the flames, straight up out of the original show when he debuted. It's just great stuff. I love it. I mean, between like all the different plastic details, I hope that the coloring is 100% like what we see here because man, it matches that pinkish kind of red that the original toy had and the original show model. Like I think it looks great. Looks great. Even the painting of the chest, not having to go chrome and really finding a good way to do a metallic paint, looks fantastic. What do we got here? JR Mina, I'm hoping the TM2 Megatron is just as big as the Power of the Prime's Optimal Optimus. Well, chances are with the way leader classes are today, probably will be the case. Not to mention when we're talking also future repaints, there's going to be a cryotech for sure. You know, they'll make a really nice cryotech out of it. Maybe throw in some golden discs. You know, they'll get rid of the energy accessory and include a golden disc instead. That'd be pretty cool. Like it looks really good. I've been seeing some digibashes. One fan turned it into Gigatron, aka Robots in Disguise Megatron. That's kind of a deep cut because that Gigatron mold was used for Deathsaurus. That Gigatron mold was used for kind of a Transmetal 2 Megatron in that final year of Bakhan. A lot of crazy stuff. I think it looks great. I think it looks fantastic. Maybe it's just my opinion, but I think it looks great. That's a surefire buy, and any Beast Wars fan is ridiculously excited for this. I think it looks fantastic. And again, the repaints that'll come from it will more than justify the tooling and time. And heck, even if they want to retool it like crazy and do a Beast Machines Megatron, take those wings and do the Beast Machines Megatron, you know, wrap around kind of, you know, whatever it was called there for Megatron, his little device thing for his controlling of the planet. You know, I'm down. I think it looks great. That's just my take. Let me know what your take is with a super chat. Next up, Alpha Trion, Orion Pax, the PulseCon. This is the PulseCon exclusive. Originally, when I reported this, I was reporting this from a stream that I was getting from San Diego Comic-Con's actual panel. The panelists, I believe it was BMAC, mentioned that, oh, this is going to be live on Hasbro Pulse, and that's how it was interpreted. So when the news was then reported by me, I said it was live on Hasbro Pulse. That is incorrect. It will be live during the PulseCon weekend, which will start at the end. I'll have all the information in the next slide. But it'll start at the end of October. He looks great. He looks really good. Michael here wants to know, he's Michael with the 16-month mention. I just bought the mint in box MP10 Optimus, the clear plastic version. Oh boy. I can't decide whether to open it or not. It looks great in the box, unlike the new packaging. Well, that's the MP10 one. That one's less fiddly, at least. So it's not like the MP. I guess we'll call it 3.0 at this point, Convoy 3.0. So I would open it. Probably would look cool. Leaving in the packaging. Masterpieces shouldn't be left in the packaging. There's too much going on with masterpieces. But getting back to this, so again, Alpha Trion, Optimus Prime, aka Orion Pax, Birth of a Hero 2-pack, PulseCon exclusive, comes with Vector Sigma and the key to Vector Sigma. Retool of the Studio Series 86 Scourge, along with the Studio Series 86 Cup. Fantastic tooling on the Cup one. Let me tell you, that whole upper chest and the head, brand new sculpt there. Looks really nice. They could have just done a straight up repaint and a new head sculpt, but they did a new chest too. I'm really loving what they do. I like how also they acted like the Energon goodies is like a walkie-talkie. So that's kind of cool too. He just looks great. He looks great. And Alpha Trion looks fantastic too. As good as Alpha Trion could be, being based out of a Scourge mold. Obviously, it's not going to be 100% show accurate, but it still looks pretty good and is probably our best transformable Alpha Trion toy we've gotten up to this point. And the fact that it comes with a Vector Sigma and the key to Vector Sigma, a accessory that in the past has been always difficult because the first time we got it was a BotCon 2007 exclusive that was done through unicron.com, kind of pricey. Then the second time you got it was a bonus pre-order from MP10, oddly enough, the Asia release. You got a die-cast little display of, it wasn't, the key was die-cast, the Vector Sigma was clear plastic, and it came with a little display. It was a pre-order bonus. And those were the only two Vector Sigmas you could get officially through Transformers. So this one here is going to give you an opportunity to get one, and probably, in all honesty, it looks the best of the bunch in my opinion. But it's just how it looks here. But I think it looks great. I think it looks really good. And when you're talking the history of cups being turned into Orion Pax or vice versa, there's a whole history of that. There is a whole history of that exists. So, and this is the best one of the bunch. It looks the best. So, I think it looks great. I think that if you want your definitive Orion Pax, I think this is the one for sure. He looks good. There's the box art on the top left. And again, it's going to be part of the Hasbro Pulse Con in 2022, September 30th to October 1st. It'll be going live then. It'll be $66.99 for this 2-pack. So 1 Deluxe, 1 Voyager, and the little accessory of Vector Sigma and the key to Vector Sigma. It'll ship out November 1st, 2022, but pre-orders will go live that weekend of September 30th to October 1st. So be sure to check that out. And speaking of other Hasbro Pulse stuff, we also got finally our final images and information of DK3. And what is his name? It's DK3 Breaker. So they are using a G.I. Joe trademark that they have right now at their disposal. There's a G.I. Joe character called Breaker. He was part of the original Joe crew, and they are going to use this trademark name to be used with this guy right here for DK3 Breaker. I've talked about him in nauseam explaining his history, but for the few that are still new to this, he is based off of, on the bottom right there, the Diachron original pre-Transformer DK3, which was a blue repaint of the Trailbreaker mold, also known as the Toyota Hilux 4x4 Robo. So it's a straight up repaint. When I saw the blurry images, I thought it was a retool of the face and a retool of the cabin, but nope, it's a straight up repaint. But hey, if you want to continue, like Evan says and Mark says, your micro collections, in this case, the Diaclone, this is yet another member you could add to it. The information that I have here is he will be available right now on Hasbro Pulse if you want to get him for $24.99. He is still up for pre-order, and he will ship out December 1st, 2022, right in time for Christmas. And there's the nice box there. So he looks pretty good in the hood. That's all I could say. Then we have, and I'm just going to cover this just very quickly. We have a whole bunch of Micro Machine information from Jada. Jada Toys has a whole bunch, not Jada Toys, excuse me, Jazzware Toys has a whole bunch of information of new Micro Machines product related to the movie stuff, related to Generation 1. This Optimus Prime playset showed up in a Toys R Us in the Philippines, of all places. So it's really kind of like, we're going to be getting more information in the next couple of days. So I'm going to do deeper segments on this with everything going on and all the stuff in the background and the little Micromaster G1 stuff that we're going to be getting. It's pretty exciting, but I want to do the segment justice when we have more information. So stay tuned for that later this week, starting Monday. We're going to do a big segment about what's happening with Micro Machines and Jazzware and the license with Hasbro. So, and Generation 1 especially. Now then, guys, let's talk about Earthrise. This is the big one. This is the one where this is going to be our next fiction moving forward. Taking a sip of water again because this is going to be a big one. So we had a teaser trailer, we had an extended trailer, and then finally we had a 6-minute preview of the first episode to kind of give you an idea of everything going on. Now, the way it is we are going to have, according to the panel, a very human narrative driven series. Now, this isn't the first time we've had a human driven narrative series. This has been done before. Armada was kind of human driven from the narrative, at least initially. The second half of it was more the story focusing on the Autobots and the Decepticons. Did I say Earthrise? I meant Earthspark. I'm gonna have to I'm gonna have to condition myself for that. I'm a little tired. Earthspark, but we got we got a whole bunch of characters though. Initially it looked like it was gonna be a small cast when they showed the cast. It was gonna be like, oh, we're gonna get Optimus Prime, Bumblebee, and Elita 1, and then the 2 new characters of Twitch and Thrash, and that was going to be it. But seeing from the trailer, it looks like there is going to be other characters. How much they will be involved in the show is a different story. Is Wheeljack going to be a major character? Is Swindle, looks like Swindle anyhow, Is Swindle going to be a major character? Is Bombshell going to be a major character? From what I've seen from the trailer, we have this Dr. Mandroid. He's controlling the Arachnamechs, and the Arachnamechs are also along with two Insecticons, because we have Bombshell on the top middle there, but on the bottom left we also have Shrapnel. Shrapnel is seen fighting Elita 1 in this. So the way that I see it is there's a lot of different characters that are probably going to be popping up. And for all we know, this trailer might only be an indication of the first 2 episodes of the 26. So we'll see what happens with that. Also, we have an unnamed character here on the bottom left middle there. Some people are saying it looks like Snowcat from Energon. I could kind of see that. And you know what? Snowcat's a trademark that Hasbro has. So if they want to do that, they could. I mean, there's a lot of cool stuff going on, but I'm really curious at the storytelling. I'm curious how it's going to go about. I'll be honest with you. This is just my own personal opinion. Most of the time, Transformers series that leaned very heavily on human driven narratives don't usually work out in the end. I mean, obviously, Master Force was an exception to the rule because the humans were the Transformers, where in this case, yeah, the kids are going to have some kind of Cybertronian device on their arm, and it's going to have them have some kind of connection with their partners and stuff. But I really just want to have a more Transformer narrative story. That's what I loved about Beast Wars. That's what I loved about Cyberverse. The fact that you have these stories that really don't have to get too muddled with human drama, it's something we just want more. And look, let's be real, at the end of the day, we're toy collectors and we're not buying human figures. We're not going to be buying 3 different versions of Robbie and Mo and the whole Multo family. We're going to be buying the robots. And I just hope that even though they say it's going to be a human driven series, I really hope that the robot portion of it and its character development isn't compromised by it. I haven't seen it yet. I'm not going to judge it, but I just hope that that's the case. That I hope that the way I look at Robbie and Moe's 6-minute scene that we were shown, I'm reminded of Transformers Armada. Transformers Armada, that first episode was here's the kids in school. Oh wow, the kids went into a cave and then found Cybertronian technology. It's literally the Armada storyline or Micron Detsetsu's storyline. It's just the difference is the kids now have some kind of connection with some new characters. In this case, the kids from Armada, it was the Minicons. In this case, with this, they have a connection with Thrash and Twitch. Human, Earthborn Transformers, which also isn't a unique concept itself. There has been Transformers built on Earth. There has been Transformers that were born on Earth, if you want to count protoforms. So not a unique concept either. But it is something also that I'm trying to be open-minded, and I want to see how this turns out, because it could be really fun or it could be really boring. What I'm hoping is we're going to get a human narrative story at the beginning, but then we'll fall more into a Cybertronian story later. That's what I think. That's what I'm hoping for, because robots at the end of the day are the coolest thing. And let's talk about robots. So let's talk about all the toys. We're going to break down all the price points, the values, and everything. I did this with my individual segment, but we've had updated images since then. Nice, juicy images of both modes, how everything works, the price points, when these are going to be coming out, and everything like that. So let's do this, people. Transformers, the Tacticon price point. What are the Tacticon price point? So just like Robbie and Mo, they touch some Transformer technology and it wraps around them. They control the Transformer. The Tacticon price point is doing the same thing. You push down on a button on the back of the alt mode of the Transformer, kind of like an activator back in the the animated days. You had a little activator button you pushed and it auto transformed. But in this case, it auto transforms and wraps around your finger, and then you have a little finger puppet transformer. So it's kind of trying to play up the element of play that right now Robbie and Mo have with their wrapped around their head Cybertronian goo, if you will, that made some kind of arm blaster or communication device. We'll learn more about that in the future. But this is the Tacticon price point. We got Optimus Prime, we got Bumblebee. There's going to be a lot of Optimus and Bumblebee every wave. We got Optimus Prime, we got Bumblebee, and we got Megatron. Again, the Megatron's a cutesy little helicopter. The Optimus is a cutesy little truck. And the Bumblebee almost looks like a hatchback. He's almost looks like his animated incarnation, if anything. Very interesting otherwise. Collector Prime with the super chat for $5. How much of these animated series do you think is driven with the intent of selling the toys versus selling a general Transformer story? Toys always come first. Hasbro is a toy company before anything else. And a lot of times these toys are designed long before even the show is put together. Now, sometimes the toys are done in tandem with the show, but toys are usually done first. I mean, if toys were more important in story, we wouldn't have multiple price points of the same characters. When we look at, like, let's say, what the Marvel movies are doing, you don't have like 50,000 different Loki figures. You usually have like 3 or 4. If you want to dive, and we're talking through Hasbro, when you're talking afterwards outside of Hasbro, that's a different story. That's licenses with Hot Toys and everything. But if you're talking Hasbro internal, they know they're a toy company. They're trying to sell toys. So I think that at the end of the day, they're there to sell toys. Wheeljack showing up is to sell toys. The Insecticon showing up is to sell toys. Swindle showing up is to sell toys. Look, when you really think about how small that cast is, you got to fill out those waves with a lot of characters. And we're going to see more of that Collector Prime with the next wave, by the way. And by the way, so the Tacticon wave, $8. And these are scheduled to show up, according to Hasbro, November of this year. So November, these should be showing up. So check it out, yo. Next up, we have the one-step changer, also known as the one-step flip changer. Now, these aren't new to us as Transformer fans. If you look at the tooling and design of both Bumblebee and Wheeljack there, they are extensive retools and repaints of the original Age of Extinction Drift flip changer, which then was used like crazy in Cyberverse, all over the place. So those two aren't really, too cerebrally different. The Optimus also uses a flip changer gimmick from the Cyberverse stuff. So these are pretty much extensive retools of Cyberverse stuff to look like uh, the Earthspark characters. And the way that I see it, it's a way to get Wheeljack in there. You got Optimus and Bumblebee again, but it's a way to get the Wheeljack now. Wheeljack's in the show. We're not going to do a Wheeljack Deluxe yet. We're not going to do a Wheeljack Warrior yet, but we have to put a Wheeljack toy out. Let's put a Wheeljack in the one-step flip changer. So that's the way that I could kind of see it. These are going to be $10 each. They've actually gone up $1 from their original MSRP when they were these guys. And again, look at that Bumblebee on the top right there. That one's from the Robots in Disguise. They used this transformation scheme with every main line moving forward just because it's super easy transformation cheap. So, and they've done it with that Bumblebee 100 times over. Look at it. Look at it. So it's going to be again. And again, they're going to be $10, $1 more than original MSRP that these were last year. And you're going to get Optimus Prime, you're going to get Bumblebee, and Wheeljack, who is pretty much the only way to get Wheeljack so far in this flavor of Transformers lore. These are also scheduled for November of 2022. Then we got the Warrior class. Now, the Warrior class, MSRP $15. These are cheaper than the previous Warrior class. So at least I'm surprised by that. Warrior classes used to be $15.99. They have it listed here at 15, so probably $14.99, $1 cheaper. Now, are they sacrificing something to do that? Maybe, judging by who's the third member of this wave. Maybe that's how they're making it cheaper this time around. Maybe there's going to always be a repaint or something from a previous line. But we have Optimus Prime, Warrior class has always been the 5-inch deluxes with more of a gimmick involved. Less paint, less articulation, but more of the gimmick-based deluxe that is slightly cheaper. So he has his Energon Axe, less paint, but still looks pretty good. The Elita one looks pretty darn good in my opinion. Nice amount of paint on her. She turns into a very strong arm kind of looking alt mode. I mean, I'll be honest here. If this was painted like Strong Arm from Robots in the Skies 2015, I'd believe it. If this was like literally Strong Arm, if it was like in the blues and the teals, I could totally see it happening. But she looks really good. She also has like a flip up gun kind of weapon thing. And if you look at her hand, I don't know if it's due to the lack of paint for the price point, but it almost looks like she has the same hand gimmick like the human characters. She has like the one hand that's colored one color and she has some kind of weapon attached to it. So I don't know if that's just due to the limitations of this price point and it's just they didn't want to have to paint or sculpt the hand the other way. That way they could have the guns be the same color as her hand sculpt. That's probably, unfortunately, the truth of it. But she still looks great. And again, because the Warriors are 5-inch scale, they fit right in with your deluxes. They're pretty much, again, the Warrior class is you take the deluxe class and you just take out some paint and some articulation. That's pretty much it. And you add a gimmick. So she'll fit in with your deluxes. She still looks pretty cool. And last but not least, we have what they list here as Skywarp. Obviously, it looks like Thundercracker in coloring. And anyone who has a sharp eye on the bottom right there, he is a 100% repaint of the Wave 1 Cyberverse Warrior class Starscream from 3 years ago. Was it 3 years already? Man, that was freaking fast. So 3 years ago, or 2.5 years, let's say, but let's say three. Three makes more sense. So they're just repainting it again. So if you want to have a Thundercracker for your Cyberverse display, you could pick this up and put it in your Cyberverse display. Otherwise, he's known as Skywarp. I think that the reason why they went this route is just to kind of work out the pricing. Have something that's $1 cheaper than the normal MSRP for Voyager for the Warrior class, and I guess maybe put all that nice paint into Elita. I don't know. That's usually how it works. Sometimes they balance things here and there, but it looks cool otherwise. Again, I like the Elita. I think she looks great. I get a feeling we're going to get a better Optimus later, so I could wait on that. And Skywarp, I don't know. Skywarp, we could wait. Skywarp, we could wait. I'm pretty sure there'll be plenty of him. Now let's talk deluxe class. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So this is what we've been waiting for with the deluxe class. Also 5 inches will fit in with the warrior class. Here's the first interesting thing. $20 for the deluxes. So significantly cheaper than deluxes prices that we're used to right now. Our deluxe class price point is $24.99 in both Studio Series and Legacy. The deluxes here are $19.99, $20. And they come with a Build-A-Figure piece. Now, my reasoning, I think they're able to pull this off, same thing with all the other waves we've just discussed, is we have 3 characters per wave, which instead of normally 4. So I think that they're just able to kind of work something out with that. We got Bumblebee, we got Megatron, and we got Twitch, and we got the Build-A-Figure. You buy all 3 of these, and they have the pieces to make Dr. Mandroid, which is our first Build-A-Figure, hopefully of many more to come of Earthspark. Again, the Build-A-Figure idea in Transformers first started with the Beast Wars 10th anniversary line when they did Transmutate. And then we had, of course, McAdams, which was done with the first couple of waves of the Deluxe with Cyberverse. So hopefully we're going to see more Build-A-Figures in the future. T-Formers 2002 with the super chat for $2. Skywarp is just his shattered glass counterpart. I guess so. I guess so. That's one way to look at it. That's one way to look at it, perhaps. But yeah, thank you for the super chat, T-Formers 2002. But the way that I see it is, I dig these. These look fantastic. Twitch looks really good. I love the use of translucent plastic. I like the way that her alt mode has invoking, and anyone who saw my little viral tweet on Twitter just today, the circular evolution of Transformers Whirl, and how you have G1 Whirl kind of became a blue female Rescue Bots Whirl that then became a female Transformer. named Twitch, who then has an alt mode that has the head of G1 Whirl. Everything goes full circle. And I think Twitch looks cool. I think her figure looks fantastic. I'm very excited for these deluxes. And it's a Build-A-Figure. You buy one, you want to get the other two, you'll have the Build-A-Figure, and you'll have your human character. Megatron looks pretty awesome also. And of course, Bumblebee is Bumblebee. Yet another Bumblebee in a wave. Amazingly, Bumblebee isn't in the Warrior wave. Surprised he didn't squeeze his way into that one too. But Bumblebee is going to make it into the last wave here. And that is the Spin Changer wave. We still got an Optimus and we still got a Bumblebee. So what is the Spin Changer wave? So Spin Changers are pretty much what the Ultra class price point was in Cyberverse. A auto-transforming, spring-loaded gimmick that is big, chunky, low on articulation, but more gimmicky based at a higher price point. In this case, the Spin Changer assortment is $30. But why would us self-respecting Transformer fans buy these Spin Changers as opposed to our deluxe classes or even the Warrior? Well, it's the only way you're going to get your Robbie and Moe action figure. The Spin Changer price point touts that you get the Robbie and Moe action figures that clip on both the vehicle mode and the shoulders of the robot modes of these characters. So if you want to get some unarticulated 2 inches pieces of plastic of the humans, you're going to have to drop $60 across the two in order to get it. So I'm hoping that someone buys these Spin Changers and wants to part with the human characters. Give Proto Man a contact and he'll gladly buy them off of you. I'll pay shipping and everything. So, but otherwise, I can't justify buying $60 of these guys, these big beefy ones, just to get the human figures. I want the human figures. I always love collecting them. But man, oh man, that's going to be a tough pill to swallow. But they know what they're doing because those ultra class price points did not sell well in Cyberverse. They were going on clearance because no one wanted giant figures unless they made sense. Okay, Iaconis. Yeah, that made sense. Sure. But a lot of the others didn't make sense. You didn't need an oversized Bumblebee or an oversized Optimus or Slipstream. So those ones didn't do as well as the Warrior and the Deluxe classes later on. And hopefully maybe they learn from their mistakes. But at the end of the day, they're putting some red herrings here, some bait in that of the human characters in Robbie Multo and Mo Multo. So we'll check that out in the future. Maybe they'll go on sale and that'll save me the trouble. Maybe, maybe, maybe. And last but not least, here's how they all scale with each other across these different price points. So there's the one step, the Warrior, the Spin Changer, the Tacticon, and the Deluxe. Again, the Warrior and the Deluxe are 5 inches, so they're going to be compatible with each other. And then, of course, the Spin Changer is the big, beefy price point that, well, sure, okay. Good for a birthday party or for a kid that wants to get into the brand quickly. Prince and Phalanx 59 Earthspark is not for me, but I hope it does well and kids enjoy them. Well, I just hope that the show is good. For me, with Transformers, if the show is good, then it'll make me excited to buy the product. That's how it always is. With Cyberverse, it was one of these things where I watch the show and then I go, oh, wow, Thunder Hell's a kind of cool character, and then go out and buy his toy. Iaconis is kind of a cool character, and then go out of my way and buy his terrible toy, which breaks like nothing. The spring gimmick breaks out of the box. Oh, I really hope those I don't want to buy those spin changes. I really don't. But the point is that I hope it's a good show. I hope it's a good show, which will make me excited to want to buy products. Just like how, BotBots was an exciting show, and then it made people want to go and buy those BotBot characters, which weren't on shelves. Good job, Hasbro. But that's a whole other story. But yeah, and last thing I want to say with SDCC this weekend, if you are there this weekend in San Diego, is be sure to swing by Symbiote Studios booth, their big, beautiful booth that they have set up. Booth 3249. Go swing by. Tell them Proto Man sent you. Check out their pins. Check out their plush. Check out all their cool stuff. We got the good old crew hanging out back there. We got the new Shockwave. We got the new Hound. And just in time for Earthspark, we got the brand new Wheeljack with his little ears. So be sure to check these out. SymbioteStudios.com. Check them out. They got some cool stuff too. We got a super chatter. Aiden Tolbert, what do you think of Earthspark show so far? Well, again, I'm going to wait and see. Again, like what we saw of the 6-minute preview is very human centric. It's getting the ball rolling. It reminds me of the first episodes of Armada. So the way that I see it is I'll wait and see. Humans have never been an important aspect of Transformers to me unless they really get involved and do something cool. Again, Master Force, great example of that. Kicker from Superlink, great example of that. Miko in Transformers Prime, great example of that. I don't want to use Sorry because she's actually Cybertronian. But, when human characters get involved in a positive way, as opposed to kind of being on the sidelines or getting kidnapped or, oh no, I got to protect them, then I don't need them. They're just there to just be there. I understand with the live action movies, you have to have the humans because if you don't have them there, it's not a live action movie, it's a CG movie. Because if the humans aren't there and it's just a Transformer story, like if that opening of the Bumblebee movie was an entire movie, all of that Cybertronian stuff on Cybertron, that would have just been a CG movie. And then you can't say it's a live action movie. And I'll tell you this right now, the second you have a CG movie as opposed to a live action movie, you lose a chunk of the audience. There's less people that saw those live action Spider-Man movies, that saw live Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse than those live action Spider-Man movies. And they happened at the same time. Why didn't all the people that went to see the Spider-Man movies didn't go to see Into the Spider-Verse? Because it was a CG movie. Ooh, cartoons, yuck. I'm an adult. I don't want to watch that. So they have to make stuff live action. And in the case of this, they got to have a human element. It's just how it is. I would have preferred it if there wasn't. That's just my personal take. But if it's done right, I will eat my words and I'll go, hey, that's cool. Again, Master Force had humans. It's amazing. So it could be done. It could be done, but it's too early to tell. Like Mecha Man Blade said here, it's too early to tell. It's too early to tell. I'm not going to base an entire 26 episodes on 6 minutes of opening. And opening episodes are always boring. They're the setup. They're, hey, this is what Transformers are. And when you're a guy like me that's kind of been a part of the brand forever, it's not going to be news to me. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I hope it's good. It's going to be debuting fall on Paramount Plus and Nickelodeon. I believe they said November, if I remember correct. So I'm going to be there front and center to watch it, and we could all discuss it together when the time comes. I just hope it's good. I really do. I really, really do. But that's more or less it. And again, going back into the plush and so Symbiote Studios, this is all the new plush that they have on their website right now. This is everything that's available. You check them out, symbiotestudios.com, all the brand new Transformer plushes. There's 2 more coming in the future. 2023, the next wave. Who could they be? They're going to be 86 movie related. I could tell you that much. But who are they? Who are those characters? Who are these 86 movie characters that are going to be part of Wave 5? Is it going to be a dead Optimus Prime? Is it going to be, I don't know, a dead Ironhide? Maybe a dead Wheeljack? Maybe a dead Starscream? Why am I naming dead people? I don't know. But they're going to be probably the next ones. So we'll definitely check that out. Pretty cool stuff otherwise. It's Symbiote Studios. They do all the good stuff. All the pins, the plush, the t-shirts. Rocking the Grimlock today. Grimlock's back there, chilling, judging me. And of course, all the pins, their Catnip Bravo stuff, their G.I. Joe crossovers. We got the new at San Diego Comic-Con, they're debuting Dragon Zord. So if you want to go pick up Dragon Zord at SDCC, it will be available on their website later on. So be sure to check that out too. I believe on Monday or Tuesday, it will be on their website and the new G.I. Joe pins. A lot of really good stuff from Symbiote Studios. Again, they are so awesome. Here's the thing, guys. I get a lot of offers for sponsorship on this channel. NordVPN, and a certain mobile game that I don't want to mention contact me a lot to do sponsorship with the channel. And I keep telling them I want to do stuff that relates to the brand. I don't need the money. I want stuff that's something that if I'm going to get paid for it, it's something that's related to the Transformer brand. And that's why all the sponsorship with this channel will always be related to stuff that we enjoy, not stuff that I'm trying to force on you. Like, hey guys, do you want to protect your data on the internet? Well, let me tell you about NordVPN. Look, I'm doing a free plug for them. Anyways, point is that I love what Symbiote Studios does. They do crazy cool stuff. And yeah, hey man, if you were at TFCon, I was rocking the shirts, I was rocking the pins. You know, they got all the cool stuff, man. They got all the cool stuff. Like my favorite pin in the world. Should have worn it today, but my favorite pin in the world is their Shockwave one. I just love that one. It's so cool. And when you have it with my boy back here, he's my favorite Decepticon outside of Beast Wars Megatron. So really cool. I love Symbiote Studios, so be sure to check them out. Again, symbiotestudios.com. Their link is in the description below. And last but not least, let's also plug the channel, the other channel, the Toy Armada with Aaron Archer. Still rocking, still doing cool stuff. Obviously, we've been busy post TFCon. We will try to get another episode out soon for you guys. I will say this. I will say this. We're curious what you would want to hear us talk about next. So go to the videos on the channel and leave comments in the videos letting us know what would you want to see us talk about next. Do you want more Transformers? If so, which Transformers? Do you want some other Kenner or Hasbro brands? Which ones? Maybe something else from Batman, maybe something else from Jurassic Park. Let us know. Let us know what you would like to hear us talk about. Obviously, I get a feeling there's going to be a Transformer lean, but we're getting a lot of requests to get more Armada stuff. People want to hear more about Armada. We did 2 segments already on Armada, but there's so much more that can be discussed about each individual figure and its design and the history behind it. So be sure, again, the Toy Armada with Aaron Archer, check out that channel. If you love this channel, go subscribe that one. A lot of cool stuff there. We got to hit 1,000 subs, and then we could do live streams there too, and a whole bunch of other cool stuff. Be sure to check them out. So that's it more or less for the news. Um, we had a lot. We had a lot. My hair's a mess. It was a busy weekend. Um, I did pick up one thing this weekend, and I'm very happy that I did. This is we were just talking about Cyberverse and their gimmicky large price points. This is the Ultimate Class, I think it was called, or Ultra Class Cyberverse Megatron. MSRP $39.99. I found it at a garage sale for $1. 100% complete in fantastic condition. And I just like him. I just think he's really cool. He has this gimmick where you could kind of like, and then you put him like this, and then you attach. He kind of has like, Cheetor and Beast Wars, how he had like, oh, look at that. And then you push this button and, oh, look at that. I don't know. I think it's cool. I think he's just a big, beefy figure that for $1, I can't complain. Looks really cool. I dig it. I dig it. That was my pickup of the weekend. Getting a $39.99 Canadian plus tax figure for $1. Sign me up, mofo. Sign me up. I love it. And that's it, more or less. Not much else. Again, it was a busy week getting ready for San Diego Comic-Con, getting ready with all the news and stuff, all the news that was dropping, the early drops, the early this, the early that. And then you have on top of it all, you have the post TFCon stuff that we had to do, and just it was extremely busy. So I'm just grateful that you guys were patient with all the stuff we were putting out, and of course everything we were doing with the TFCon exclusive. I'm going to be shipping out the second wave of the Patreon exclusive items and everything like that too. So there's still much more to be done. Let's put it this way: tomorrow is Sunday, and Proto Man is going to be very busy. Normally Sunday is my day off from the podcast. It's the only day out of the week that I don't do anything for the podcast. It's my day to relax, which actually is not my day to relax. It's when I do dishes, when I have to do laundry, when I have to clean the house. but it's my day to relax from the podcast. And when that's done, then I could chill and everything. And tomorrow I'm still going to be very busy. We got to hit the post office, got a whole bunch of stuff, got to ship out a whole bunch of stuff to the UK, to my UK fans. A lot of cool stuff. Thank you for all the super chats that are coming in. Again, guys, if you have any comments or questions that you want read out on the podcast, again, post the super chat. Send me a super chat, and we will do that. We got a $5 super chat from the legend, Michael Koo. Michael Koo is a legend in the podcast with the awesome super chats. Michael wants to know, or he says, Earthspark Twitch alt mode reminds me of Armada Laserbeak. Interesting take, probably because of the orange. Would Hasbro re-release Armada Laserbeak for Earthspark? Well, Laserbeak in orange is what you're asking for, or a camera in orange. Funny thing enough, if you went to Aaron Archer's table at TFCon, of the toys that we had on display that were stuff that he's worked on, we had an Armada Laserbeak right there. And I remember, because we have these on display, right? They're just displayed to show like, hey, this is what, he's worked on. And you'd be surprised how many people asked how much that Armada Laserbeak was for sale, if it was for sale. I'm surprised people want Armada Laserbeak. Maybe because it was an expensive figure back then, and now, people kind of regret not picking it up. It's a fun little toy. I could kind of see, you know what? Look, Twitch turns into a drone. Drones have cameras on them. She has a little camera eye. So I could see how you could see Armada Laserbeak from it in a lot of ways. I'm looking at mine right now. I probably should have brought down the one from Aaron Archer's display, but yeah, I mean, I could see it. Twitch looks cool. Twitch is probably like out of all the figures, she's the one that really catches my eye in a lot of ways. So I'm really curious what's going to happen with her in terms of the show, her character development, and of course, she's going to be probably one of the best figures of the deluxe assortment initially. Megatron looks pretty good too, though. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. We will see what happens. But again, thank you for the super chat, Michael Koo. You are a legend. And going into Detective Ferret with the super chat. How you doing, Detective Ferret? I was wondering if there was any fake listings that you hope came true. I'll tell you one right away. That red Mirage that we saw that was going around, we talked about it on the podcast, and I pointed out how it was fake because it was painted. It was very clearly painted, as opposed to tampographs and molded plastic in areas that should have been molded plastic. I would have loved a red Mirage. Like, let me just show you guys here. Hope this doesn't fall. Like there was a bootleg of G1 Mirage that was done in red. And actually, I have a second one. 1 second. I could show you guys here. And there it goes. I knew it was going to fall. There it is. Red Mirage. Like, I would love, love a red Mirage. I mean, whatever they want to call it. Maybe call it Proto. I'm just saying. Obviously not. You don't have the trademark for it. They'd probably have to go with a trademark that exists. What would be a good one? Yeah, call it. No. What would you? They need to use something that hasn't been used in a Generation 1 context. Maybe Excellion. You could use Excellion, I guess. The red hot rod looking Speed Planet character, which was also the Japanese name of Hot Shot, but wasn't called Hot Shot when it was Excellion in the Cybertron line. They could go with that or something, but I'd love to see a red Mirage. And that fake one, I knew it was fake, but I was hoping it was real. But I knew it was fake. And there's no reason for them really to do a red Mirage just because it's not there. I mean, yeah, it has that Diaclone history, but then I guess they'll just do a Hasbro Pulse thing. It'll be a Hasbro Pulse thing, much like all the other ones we've gotten up to this point. That's the way I see it. But thank you for the question, Detective Ferret. Media Max Protomang, what do you think they'll do with the inevitable Studio Series 86 Cyclonus? Change the color scheme? Well, we already have the Target Master one, and his Armada, so that already is done. They could do Shattered Glass, which is done in hot rod colors. That's another one that could be done. And considering that Shattered Glass is doing pretty well, I could see them doing that. Maybe a wave 3 of Shattered Glass, because Shattered Glass in a lot of ways is kind of what our, the way that I see Shattered Glass, it's kind of like what our Netflix line was, where it's like it has multiple waves. So I could see Shattered Glass just being a 3-wave thing. So we're going to probably get a 3rd wave of Shattered Glass. Shatterglass Cyclonus. That mold sold very well, was beloved by fans. And then, of course, you could do Farrak. You could do that white color scheme, sure. You could do the strafe colors from that weird repaint from the Gente line. There's a few ideas. There's a few ideas out there, but I think Shatterglass Cyclonus would be probably the next logical one to do, and people would dig it. People would like it. That original Fun Pub Shatterglass Cyclonus sold very well. That sold out. So that's how I see it, Media Max. We got a gold super chat from Collector Prime with 10 bones, 5-5. Thank you, Collector Prime, with the gold super chat. Of the exclusives and recent Transformer toy announcements, what is the one you are the most interested in, and which one do you think is most likely will be the most collectible? Well, of the exclusives recently announced, if you're referring to like retail exclusives too and stuff, uh, I mean, look, let's be real, and the frustration was real for a lot of people. The one that's going to be the most collectible, not the one I'm most excited about, but the one that's going to be the most collectible is going to be that Cosmos. That Cosmos from the Velocitron Speedia 500 line is going to be nuts. He's already sold out. He's going to be scalped. It's going to be crazy. Guys, I warned when I talked about Cosmos before, I was like, guys, him and Clampdown are one per case. They're both one per case. It's 2 road rockets, 2 burnouts. And burnout, by the way, is going to be the one that's going to be shelf warming. 2 burnouts. What was the other deluxe? What's the other one? Two blurs, and then one of each of Clampdown and Cosmos. And lo and behold, who sold out right away? Cosmos, and then who sold out afterwards? Clampdown. No surprise. So it's going to be the same thing. I feel that Clampdown isn't going to be as scalped as much just because he doesn't have the, what's the word I'm looking for? Character credibility that people would want to complete their sets unless they're trying to complete all the Lambos or something, or get some of that again going into that Diaclone lineage. But everyone's going to want that Cosmos. But at the same time, and this is just me, I'm not saying it's a fact, but I get a feeling just wait. They're going to use that mold again. They'll do a lighter green. They'll do in 2 years. Look what happened with Bumblebee. Oh, they're never going to do anything with that Netflix Bumblebee. Walmart owns that mold. They can't do anything with that mold. And we got Goldbug. And it was Target, completely different retailer. I'm pretty sure we're going to see a yellow Bumblebee at some point, like in cartoon accurate colors from that Netflix mold. And I'm pretty sure at some point down the line, we're going to see that Cosmos. We're going to see it in Pathfinder colors. Who knows? They're going to retool it into Scrounge. They're going to figure something out. They'll do something with it, and you'll get another opportunity. Do not pay scalper prices. Don't. Some people showed me online already on Twitter. They were showing me that there's people that are already turning around and selling them pre-order for $60 on eBay. It's disgusting. Don't participate in it. If you don't want people to scalp, don't buy from scalpers, because scalpers are only able to continue what they do and justify what they do if people buy it. That's the thing. If they buy it and then they sit on it and they get stuck with it, then it sends a message in their head, geez, probably shouldn't do that again because I remember what happened last time. But if they buy it and then it gets sold, then they're going to go, well, I'm going to do it again and again and again and again. I know one of the biggest amiibo scalpers in Montreal. He is freaking crazy. He is crazy. But then I see him at shows and how much money he makes and how people come running with their parents' money so they could get a Marth amiibo for $160. I'm in the wrong business. But yeah, so just don't just be careful with that. Again, that's the one that's going to be the most collectible. The one that I'm looking forward to the most of the exclusives, I said it before, I Override Nitro Convoy. So looking forward to that one. That's the one I want more than any of them. That's the one I want more than any. Michael Koo, 2 big scalpers from the Velocitron line, Cosmos and Clampdown. Like I just said, yep. Cringe McCringle with the super chat for 5 bones. Cringe McCringle, how you doing? What's up, Proto? What's up, Cringe? Finally got off work to watch the stream. Good to see everyone. What Transformer figure has the best deco in my opinion? Probably with the most budget, and you could maybe I could try to get him in shot here. I always loved Bloody Tusks, Big Convoy. The fact that they put blood on his tusks there, always loved that deco. Was really, really cool. They put a lot of paint into that figure. Um, Big Convoy, by the way, as a mold is fantastic. If you could get any version, the original, the anime version, Ultra Mammoth, the Ultra Magnus version, the Bloody Tusks one, Big Black Convoy, there's a million repaints, blue version, any version you could get, fantastic mold. It was technically the first Transformer toy to have a removable matrix. So also a historic Transformer figure. Love them to death. That's one of my favorite big redeco kind of things. What was another really good one? What was a really good one also? I'm trying to think, like in terms of, well, if it's best deco, ooh, that's a tough one. Because, like there's so many great figures with great color schemes and cool characters. I mean, a Hot Rod Flame is always cool any day of the week. But also like a Scourge Black Convoy kind of black and teal repaint also looks cool. There's a lot of really good ones. But I mean, again, black repaint, the Bloody Tusks, like just looks really good. Really, really good. Always kind of refer to him just because he's such a great figure. And he's not that, I mean, I don't want to say he's not that expensive, but you have options. So he's not that rare. And there's even the Korean version, Sonokong, which was a Korean company that was importing Takara product, put a lot of big convoys out in the secondary market as a result. It's the exact same toy, by the way. 100%. My best buddy, he has a Sonokong big convoy and a long rack. I think it was the other one he had. And I messed with it. I didn't have it side by side with mine, but they felt exactly the same. The only difference between the two is the trading card. Like his trading card was Korean as opposed to mine being Japanese. That's it. Fantastic. And obviously his box is huge, but man, I don't know. There's a lot of cool ones. There's a lot of cool ones. A lot of the black repaints. I mean, I'm just looking at like even some of the Cybertron ones here. Like all the black repaints were pretty cool and everything. Cool decos, cool decos. Putting me on the spot, guys. Cool decos. I don't know. I don't know. That's something I really would have to think about, but of redecos, I got to go with that. What else was a good redeco? Good redeco. I know I love that Crasher, that Fracture Crasher from the Classics Mirage. That was cool. Black Rodimus, the Shattered Glass from 2006, Fun Publications. Fun Publications did a lot of really good redecos. Now that I look at it, like they did Skybite out of the Sharkticon from Energon. That Sharkticon Energon mold is really fantastic, and they did a Skybite repaint out of it. That was really cool. That's a great mold, by the way. Sharkticon Energon, fantastic mold. Even the original paint job, really cool, really good toy. Really, really good. I like it. I like it. I hope that's some. I hope that steers some of them a little bit. Hope so. Thank you for the super chat. Michael Koo, 2 biggest scalpers from. Okay, we already read that, Michael. We're good on that one. Where are we at? Where are we at? Where are we at? But yeah, again, the Velocitron line. I knew it was going to happen, and I mean, I'm going to have difficulty getting it. It showed up on Walmart Canada, but I was just like, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait because a lot of that is, very expensive. Let's put it this way: Canadian price conversion to American price conversion is not the same. Inflation affected you guys; it affected us even more. And I might as well pull it up. Always gonna pull it up. Like Voyager price point, okay, $33.99. That's what Override is going to be, okay, $33.99. In Canada, I think it's like 45, which is brutal, but it's a reality. So we'll see what happens with that, but it's pretty nuts. Elves Bleed 57, did you enjoy seeing the Jada Mega Man toys? Oh, bro, I was super excited about those because just to give you context, like, Mega Man has had a million figures and he always has figures, but Fireman and Iceman, to give you guys context, the last time we had a Fireman figure, and he only had one other from Mega Man 1, he had a little PVC that was done by Bandai of America for the 1993 Mega Man cartoon. And that was it. That was the only Fireman figure. Iceman had that little PVC too, and then he had a retro roto, it was called, which was kind of articulated and everything too, but just very simple, kind of like a Sufobi vinyl. So he's getting a figure that's way better than that. So those two, and I hope they do more like Robot Masters. The crazy thing with Mega Man is Mega Man has so many cool, diverse Robot Master characters. Every single game has one. And yet they don't do Robot Master figures. It's always Mega Man, Mega Man X, Zero, Zero repaints. Oh, we're going to do the Odd Axle figure. Oh, here's Base. Not even Proto Man. They don't even do Proto Man. And it's not that I'm complaining. There's already some great Proto Man figures. So it's not like I'm dying for another Proto Man figure. But like, man, there's like, a lot of Robot Man. I would love to see like a decent Shadow Man, not just the Retro Roto. I'd love to see a lot of that stuff. But I'm excited about it. Jada, they look great. The Mega Man we already saw has interchangeable heads with different facial expressions. So these look like they're going to be more higher end figures. I run a Facebook group on Facebook. It's called the Mega Man Rockman Merchandise Club, I think it's called, or something. It has Japanese in the title too. And we constantly talk about Mega Man product. We share Mega Man product. We sell Mega Man products. It's my other life in the Mega Man world and the video game world. That's why I was also on my Twitter. I was talking about the new Mario toys that I'm excited about too. But yeah, hope that answers that. Elves Bleed 57. Andy Davis with the member question. Thank you for being a 15-month member, Andy Davis. Which TF has the most fun in the summer? Well, Sakamoto and Yuki Ashima used to always do nice little drawings of the Transformers having fun in the summer. And, so you have like Kiss Play Optimus loves going surfing, you know, and then you have other characters that like burying each other in the sand, the Constructicons. So there's a lot of guys that have some good beach fun. But who would have fun in the summer? Well, it's got to be a drop top character. Got to enjoy just the wind blowing, having the radio, driving on a long highway in the summer. No better feeling in the world. They always say like ultimate bliss is the top down, radio going, and sounds counterproductive, having the air conditioning blasting on you while the top is down, enjoying the open road in summer. Feels like when I was driving down to TFCon with Pulse Dragon. That's kind of what we were doing in a lot of ways. Good stuff. Nice 5-hour drive to Toronto, but it's good times. Road trip with the buddies. I don't know. There's so many summer Transformers. We need a Transformer that transforms into a beach ball that isn't Unicron. uh, there's probably some bots I'm forgetting about that are probably very beach related or summer related. I know there probably is. Someone suggest one. I know I'm forgetting something. Collector Prime with the $5 super chat again. The Star Saber unboxing, while not overtly exciting, looked nice. With this, do you think we have a chance of seeing Deathsaurus? It's possible. It's possible. You know what? I hope it doesn't affect the stream. I'd love to show you guys. Go on my Twitter either today or tomorrow, depends when you're hearing it. I'm gonna retweet the image of my pitch for how they could have done Deathsaurus with Double Dealer and why it would have worked. Because I could just totally see it. Like I could see, because look, the Star Saber itself is like a leader class. I know they say, oh, it's two commanders together. It's a leader class when you look at the size. So it could work with Double Dealer in terms of the size. And then of course when he's powered up and he's Victory Saber, that's a different story. He could be big, tall, chunky, but I could see him being done. And Hasbro has, again, they have the Deathsaurus trademark. They have Dezaris trademark, which was used for the Lio Kaiser box set. So I could see it happening. It's a reality. It's a reality. I could see it happening. The trademark is there, and you know what I always say about trademarks? It's our crystal ball into everything. I'm not like, to me, getting a Desaurus is because of the trademark, not because of his art on a piece of packaging from Hasbro Pulse. That's the way I see it. But thank you for the super chat, Collector Prime. Michael Koo, the legend, for another super chat. Protoman Redeco, Legacy TM2 Megatron as Victory Deathsaurus. I don't know about that one. Primarily, unless they're able to like do a crazy retooling in the chest where you could have the Breastmaster gimmick, I don't really see that. Where again, the cool thing about the double dealer mold is it does have the chest gimmick. It does have something where you could put tapes in the chest or some kind of like, especially since we're getting these guys now, we're going to be getting, some more love. So I could see it more that. But I mean, hey, maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. Maybe they'll do that. But I mean, it's not the first time that those characters have shared molds together. TM2 Megatron and Desaurus both shared that Gigatron mold through Fun Publications. So who knows? Who knows? I could see how people make that connection because of the DNA, the mold DNA, but we'll see what happens. Or you said here, or do a new Desaurus mold to incorporate the breast. Yeah, well, there you go, the breast formers, or they're called breast masters. But yeah, Bresto attack, as he would say. You could barely see them. There's Eagle and the Lion, and then you can't see because this pillar covers it, but Desaurus is back there. But there's Eagle and Lion, two little breast masters. Um, but yeah, I could see them doing something either from the ground up or with Double Dealer. I don't see the TM2 Megatron though. That would be like a lot of work. TM2 Megatron is going to be Cryotech. Cryotech is a Visionaries trademark that Hasbro has, and it's a trademark that they have already. So they could kill two birds with one stone with doing a Cryotech trademark repaint. Eastman777 wants to know, does Hasbro ever use focus groups? If so, that Skullgrin would have been canceled. They don't really do focus groups, unfortunately. They just kind of just design stuff and just kind of put it out there. I'm pretty sure they would have done focus groups back in the day of TV show stuff. But even then, that's not the case anymore. It used to be, you have focus groups, look, let me give you an example, okay? I was part of a focus group, not toy related though. Am I allowed to talk about this? Probably now. It's been so many years. So one of the biggest focus group companies in Canada is in Montreal. And I'm part of a list now because I got added to this list somehow, and now they constantly message me asking me if I'm free, and I'm never free because of work and everything. But I remember going into one of those focus groups, and you go into a room with a whole bunch of other strangers, and they show you a product, and it literally was bottled water, and there's a glass, and clearly the company is on the other side of that wall, and they're like, when you think of what was it? Which water company was it? I don't even remember. It was so many years ago. Oh, it was Avon. Not no Naya. When you think of Naya water, what colors do you think of? What packaging? When you think of pure, when you think of mountain springs, they asked all kinds of stuff to kind of like, get information from you. So focus groups still exist, but then they have to pay you. And I got paid good for that focus group, cash, for an hour of my time to talk about bottled water. So it's something that Hasbro gets kind of free focus group stuff. They do a live stream, and sure, the live stream chat on Transformer Tuesday is filled mostly with garbage. Mostly with, so here's the next Walmart exclusive, F you exclusives, and there's all kinds of anger from 12-year-olds who have no credit card anyways and has no control of how they're spending their money anyhow, complaining. But just like trolling like crazy, just people typing the same thing over and over, copy paste, copy paste, copy paste. And whoever's in charge of the chat not blocking people, I do not know why. especially when they start putting the racial slurs. That's a whole other story. But the point is that they have focus groups from those live streams. They're able to kind of see people's reactions and read through the complaints and see the legit, stuff. And the good thing is when you see a complaint, you could click on their name and see, if they're crazy or not. Yeah. I love like when you have someone that's a completely negative individual and then you check out their channel and they're just the most horrible human being. And then you're just like, "Oh, okay, it wasn't even constructive criticism. They're just a bad person." And on top of that, if I don't have it on my phone, I don't put social media on my phone, but on my iPad, um, if you click on their name, you could also see if they commented on other videos of other creators. And if it all just looks like it's just negativity, then it's just like, eh. So they have their own focus groups, and it's called YouTube. That's what their focus group is. So and trust me, they are paying attention. They're in this chat, right? Metal Man and Loco Man are my favorite robot masters. Metal Man is another awesome one. Turbo Man would be really cool because he's a transformer. Getting a cool Turbo Man, Mega Man Robot Master would be really cool. I would dig that a lot. Who else would be a really cool Robot Master? Gyro Man's really cool. All the Mega Man 2 and 3 guys are 10 out of 10 designs. Nightman, because he was actually created by someone here in Montreal. A lot of cool designs. A lot of cool designs. It's got to be those original OG Robot Masters. And then when that's successful, then give me some Mavericks. Give me some Mavericks. Give me some Mega Man X1 Mavericks and Mega Man X3 Mavericks. Where are we at here? Horned Owl, sorry, Charge Man. It's true. Charge Man was from Mega Man 5, not Loco Man. Airman is also awesome, but that's a Mega Man 2 design. They're all awesome. Tom Laney, speaking of Shattered Glass, they had a display of all the current figures. Does that mean that we may get re-releases that wasn't looking to get? Whoop, sorry, I'm getting a little tired here. May release some of them wasn't looking to get, but now it's growing on me. I don't know. That's something that, in all honesty, it's a Hasbro Pulse thing, and Hasbro Pulse has a deal with Walmart, so it's more just Walmart and what's available there. Hasbro gets a small assortment. When that sells out, that sells out. Uh, Probably not. I'd hate to say it. There rarely is re-releases with exclusives. You get the mold slightly changed or repackaged in the future, but you never really get a re-release one for one of the same thing when it's an exclusive. It rarely happens. Very rare. Elves Bleed. Oh, no, hold on. Tom Laney also said, "What about Predaking with Dragon Megatron?" I could see that, but that's if they want to then do another Prime character. And I'm pretty sure if they wanted to do like if you're talking Predaking, the Prime character, because he was a standalone dragon, not the G1 combiner. Uh, I could see it, but I think that Prime fans are probably pretty satisfied with Predaking. He had a lot of toys across a lot of different scales, even like an ultimate class. So I don't know. I don't think that wouldn't fit anyone's needs. I think it would be you'd be forcing a square peg into a circle hole in a lot of ways. Elves Bleed. I'm in the belief after Cryotech TM2 Megatron will be Legacy Predaking. See, everyone thinks it's in Predaking. I don't know. I don't see it. I don't see it. It's a lot of orange. Unless they retool it a lot, I don't know. I see Cryotech. Cryotech being the next one for sure. Chanem Sharanadman with the $2 super chat. Scavenger renamed Inferno Transmetal if re-released. Well, that's if they want to do Transmetals right away. I think Inferno is going to get an Antagony repaint because Mark and Evan always talk about wanting more female characters. Antagony is a female black repaint of Inferno. It writes itself. Heck, if they want to have fun, put a brand new head sculpt that's more feminine looking. That's not the crazy Inferno look. Because if you look at the old picture stories of Antagony, she had a different kind of face design in those as opposed to the toy. So they could do something that's more accurate to those picture photos and the picture book. So I could see Antagony being the next one. Transmetal Scavenger, aka Transmetal Inferno in the Japanese Beast Wars Metals line. I think we're not in Transmetals just yet. Let's put it that way. I don't think they want to go down the Transmetal Fusor route just yet. They want to finish some more. Obviously, the season 1 characters are done, but I think they want to finish more season 1 flavor, if anything, before they jump into that. Lizard Sphere X for the super chat of 5 bones. Can't wait to go to my first BotCon next month. It's a different kind of BotCon. The parts parties are going to be hell and heaven. No energy drinks till then. Saving up sucks. Yeah, well, I mean, look, I wish the BotCon guys all the best. A lot of good people behind it and that crew. But it's not going to be the same kind of BotCon. That's the one thing that sucks. And what sucks too is, and I only saw this because one of my friends was going to go, and then he saw the hotel costs, $800 for the weekend. I remember BotCon when it was at Disney and it wasn't $800 for the weekend. In the Disney Swan Hotel, of all things, the Dolphin and the Swan Disney hotels, where you could see the Magic Kingdom, and it wasn't $800. So I don't know. Like, BotCon, I wish them all the best. I hope that they grow. I want there to be more than one Transformer convention that's like top tier. So, I mean, look, they have a great guest list. Everything looks pretty cool. I just hope it turns out great. That's all I'm saying. I'll be there in the future. When the big V dies down and all the craziness, I'm going to be there, guys. Mark my words. I will be there. I don't even think I'm going to be at Chicago TFCon. I'm going to wait until it all dies down. Ronnie Diaz, hey there from Florida. Would you be getting into a Transformers real-time strategy game? I would dig that. I loved Warcraft back in the day, StarCraft, even the more obscure ones like Total Annihilation. And what else was there? There's another really good RTS. Even War Planets had an RTS. It'd be cool. It would be cool. I don't know if they do it. I mean, the closest we have to a real-time strategy is the Earth Wars mobile game, and that's still not exactly what I feel you're referring to. But that would be cool, though. I dig it. Media Max wants to know, Proto Mang, you stoked for the newly announced Secret Wars movie? Hope we get a proper black Spidey suit. Well, already Tom Holland said that he's not going to be coming back to play Spider-Man in the near future, so I don't know how that's going to turn out. In all honesty, the sad thing is that a lot of times when you hear about these event names and you imagine in your mind how the comic book version was, and it never turns out that way. So like it's when they did Civil War, it wasn't the Civil War that we saw in the comics. So whatever you imagine Secret War is going to be, I don't think it's going to be the same way. I'm not saying it's going to be bad. I'm just saying it's going to be different. Tom Laney, they have Prime Hunters faction symbols on the back of the box. So I was just curious. Yeah, I saw that too. I found that very weird. Maybe it's just because at the time they didn't have the Predacon logo. Remember how we saw recently the Predacon logo was recently trademarked? Primarily because Predacons aren't in the Rise of the Beast movie, it's the Terracons. So they recently only registered the Autobot, the Maximal and Predacon logo. So I'm thinking that maybe it's just because the Predacon logo wasn't at their disposal. Although, I mean, it's also kind of on some of the Beast of the Kingdom packaging too, in some kind of shape or form. I don't know the specifics with that, but I found it very weird that it was there. I can't figure it out. I'd have to ask. There's probably a very logical explanation. Trust me. Where are we at here? Where are we at? Roman wants to know my favorite redeco is Return of Titans. Return of Titans. I think it's Titans Returns. Leader Galvatronus. Galvatronus. You mean the combiner? That what you're referring to? I'm confused. Because Galvatronus was the combiner from Combiner Wars. Oh, Aaron Archer says, isn't Dragon Megatron a Transmetal? Technically a Transmetal too, but not in the same sense. I mean, when you really think about it, Transmetals became Transmetals because of the Transwarp wave. He didn't become a Transmetal that way. Transmetal 2s are from the Transmetal drivers. He didn't become it that way. It's kind of like, would you consider Optimal Optimus a Transmetal 2? You know, he really isn't. Uh, they're both spark infused characters with the spark chambers. Megatron because of G1 Megatron Spark, Optimal Optimus because of Optimus Prime Spark. So he's listed as a Transmetal 2. That's, I think, mostly because that figure came out during the Transmetal 2 wave of figures. I mean, those were the characters you worked on. Aaron, you worked on Transmetal 2 characters. So he kind of falls into that bubble. But in theory, he really isn't one because of what makes a Transmetal 2. It's like calling someone a combiner when he doesn't combine, you know? Transmetal 2 character, but didn't really get infused by the Transmetal driver. I've been dreaming of a Transmetal 2 Prowl, says Eye of the Ace. Very good mold, actually. I love that he has two variants in black and white. Very good toy. And he has that spark changer that's on his head there. That's kind of like a Matrix almost. Pretty cool. Eye of Ace, my favorite animal. Oof, I don't know. I like dogs. Dogs are cool. Dogs are my favorite things in the world. I'm a big dog lover. I love seals, which are kind of like sea dogs. So I love seals too. They're absolutely adorable. Uh, I'm a big animal lover in general. I love going to the zoo, looking at animals, but yeah, I'm a dog person. That's probably always my go-to. Cows are cute, pigs are cute. Love pigs. Pigs are adorable. I'll go with those. Go with those. Princeton Phalanx 59. I know this is off topic. Off topic's always cool. We're talking about Mega Man before. But did you see the photos of the G.I. Joe Serpentor and his chariot? It looks so amazing. Yes, I did. I've been paying attention to a lot of the G.I. Joe stuff. Um, man, I'm telling you, like Joe is having a renaissance in a small way. Like they've been trying for so long to get GI Joe to just be this like big brand again, where it's like we're going to do a movie, tons of figure line, it dies. We're going to do a TV series with a figure line, it dies. We're going to do another movie with a figure series, it dies. We're going to do this and it dies. And then they do these like small collector based, 6-inch lines and it finds tons of success. Then they do a HasLab and it's the best, quickest selling HasLab out of all of them, counting Unicron and the Razor Crest and all the Marvel stuff with Galactus and the Sentinel. Like there's a very dedicated but small Joe audience. And I was talking about this with Aaron Archer yesterday. And I was saying like what's crazy when you think about it, if you count the amount of money that the Hiss Tank has made thus far, right now, as of this recording, it's made 20% of what all the money Snake Eyes the movie made in theaters. And what's crazy is when this is over, I almost feel that the Hiss Tank will have made as much money as 50% of the ticket sales of the Snake Eyes movie, which is crazy. So it shows the dedication for that product as opposed to fiction and everything else. Just saying. Kind of nuts. But yeah, that Serpentor looks awesome. Hey man, Dick Gautier, Serpentor, the voice of TV Rodimus. Rest in peace, Dick Gautier. This I command. Awesome. Hey man, as long as he doesn't suffer from GPS like his original toy, then it's good to go. Especially that chariot. Oh boy. Especially that. JR Mina, hey Proto, what's for dinner? Kom Tom B, Vietnamese seasoned meat with it's a Vietnamese meat that's infused with soy sauce and then it is seasoned and then it is cured and they leave it on the barbecue for a bit so it kind of like it wrinkles. It's just talking about it makes me drool. It's amazing. And then it come to be is always served with what's called fractured rice, which is you have rice kernels, but they're actually broken rice kernels, so they're smaller. But when they plump, they have a different kind of shape and a different kind of way that they cook because they're more bunched together. So come tumby with fractured rice. Mm-mm-mm. Good stuff. That's tonight for me. That is tonight. And maybe tomorrow I'm gonna make some Rice Krispie squares. I don't know yet. I bought a huge thing of Rice Krispies from Costco, and I'm going, maybe some Rice Krispie squares. so I could finish the whole pan like a psycho. But that's tonight. That is tonight, my friend. And thank you from all the love and support in the Philippines. Where are we at? Where are we at? Where are we at? IP freely. Walmart still has inventory for the G1 reissues of Blaster and Astro Train. Yeah, Astro Train, I believe, is on sale too. So if you did not get Astro Train, the Blaster's still a little pricey. Honestly, I still see loose G1 blasters for $20 at conventions. He might not have, perfect stickers, but I mean, they're a dime a dozen. He was a very common figure, and he was my first Transformer, but, you know, it is what it is. Are we already past 2 hours? Are you serious? Oh my God, we're past 2 hours. Holy moly, we went quick today. Wow, that was fast. Wow, okay. Well, guys, I guess we're done tonight. I didn't even realize it. Wow. All right, guys, we're done for the live stream tonight. Again, thank you for all the love and support. I want to thank Symbiote Studios and all their awesome stuff. Again, if you have time this weekend, let me pull up their booth. Be sure if you're in San Diego this weekend, if you're watching the stream from your hotel room or just relaxing at home in San Diego, be sure to swing by Symbiote Studios booth 3249. Get some Transformer plush, get some Transformer pins, get some Transformer shirts, get all the good stuff there. All the good stuff. Get a Shockwave, because Shockwave is the best. And again, I want to thank Hasbro for supporting also everything that we do on this podcast. Again, check out their YouTube channel and check out all their cool Transformer content on there and on Hasbro Pulse, all their individual stuff that they posted. Otherwise, more or less, thank you all for the love and support. If you want to support the podcast more, super chats aren't the only way. You could also join the Patreon. Patreon helps support the podcast and keeps the lights on and all the craziness that we do Monday to Saturday, keeping you daily entertained and educated on the Transformer world. If Patreon is somehow not your thing, our green people here on the side, the YouTube members with all their cool little YouTube membership stickers and emblems and icons. You could show your love for your favorite Transformer characters through the YouTube membership there. A lot of cool stuff also. Otherwise, guys, thank you all for joining me. It's been a crazy week. Hopefully, we'll be able to relax a little bit, but we still have more news coming in the near future. So tune in Monday, and we'll be back with a Transformer Slag podcast segment. Thanks for all the love and support. Thank you for making us the #1 Transformer podcast in the world. And from this tired old fan, like I always say, roll out.